to Louisiana Heartbeats. I'm Sudie Landry, and we're getting ready to start off a new series in 2017 coming up. This is December, and what a great way to finish out my show for the 2016. Today I have with me a new author that has written a children's book, I Wish Daddy Was Santa Claus, and this is Dana Judice from New Iberia.
Hello, hello.
Hey, Dana, I appreciate your coming on with us. Let's share with the audience out there. There's a lot of wonderful authors out there that are writing new books. This is your first book that you have released, correct?
That's correct.
And it's called, as you can see in the background, everybody, I Wish Daddy Was Santa Claus. Now, I have been really honored and blessed to have met Dana. Dana is a member of the Writers Guild of Acadiana, and I can remember going up to Dana just out of the blue. He was always standing in the back, he still does, and he's listening, and sometimes he exits out of the meeting early. But I remember going up to you, Dana, and saying, I don't know why, but I think I need to get to know you. I had no idea that deep down inside of this man was an upcoming children author. So Dana, so that people can learn a little bit about who you are, why did you choose to write this book? What inspired you to write this book?
Well, thank you. First of all, thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here today. I know we talk quite often, and since we've been in the Guild, I've been in the Guild nearly 10 years, and I've had an opportunity to be inspired and encouraged by so many of the members and the guests that you've had on. So I'm excited about this. Actually, I'm a social worker by trade, and I've worked several years with children in many school systems, with military members' families, and in schools and military installations. And I've also worked locally in Acadiana in different venues in the school setting. And I'm currently now working in the St. Martin Parish School System with children. So, but often I would work with children, and I'd get to ask them if they had 3 wishes. If I could grant you 3 wishes, what would you wish for? And so you would get the typical answers of children. You know, I wish for a bigger toy, a bigger house, a better toy, a game. But oftentimes you would get deeper answers, you know, and more significant things that were bothering them or concerning them, I should say. And as the work that I've done with children, I've developed a theme that they often want to connect with their fathers, whether they're present in their lives or they're absent. And that's kind of, so the I Wish series came to be based on that. This particular story, though, I Wish Daddy Was Santa Claus, was actually, I was reading a children's book to my soon-to-be 3-year-old last Christmas, and it was on one of our favorite authors, and I was reading the children's book, and I said, man, I'd love to write a book about a Christmas book, you know. So in January, this book was born, and I said, you know, with the combination of my personal experience with my own children and the experience that I've had professionally for a number of years, I decided, hey, what bigger Christmas hero other than Jesus, of course, but that kids look forward to on Christmas time, and when they wanted to connect with Daddy. And we often have those questions of, hey, this mysterious man that comes once a year, you know, and who is he? You know, what can I know more about him? And maybe there's some mystery also to the fathers in our lives, or maybe the fathers that aren't in our lives, about what role they play. And so it's really a fun book. I Wish Daddy Was Santa Claus, and it talks about, of course, a child imagines how life would be for him and his mom if Daddy was indeed Santa Claus. And so it takes you through that story there.
And that's what I want to share with you, Acadiana, is that, you know, that question as we are little kids, is there really a Santa Claus? This book takes you to a unique twist. But if Daddy was Santa Claus, then Daddy couldn't do this, and Daddy couldn't do that. But if Daddy was Santa Claus, then we could do this and we could do that. It is so different. I have a 4-year-old great-granddaughter and a 2-year-old, and actually they're now the copy that he had blessed me with. The 2-year-old carries it around pretending she can read, and she flips the pages, and she's almost able to tell a story just by looking at the pictures, you know. And this is the author, but we do have a illustrator who is Mel Lecomte, who did the illustrations for this book, and he, of course, is another member of our Writers Guild, so we want to thank the two for getting together. Of course, as authors, you don't always use the same illustrators, so in the future, who knows who else is going to be in one of your series, so go ahead.
I was going to say, but for sure we know who's not going to be the illustrator on the next one, and that would be me. Because I always kid with people, I can't draw a stick man, and you can make sense of it. So anyway, yeah, it was really wonderful to have Mel Lecomte bring my story to life with his beautiful illustrations. And I'm so grateful for that.
Well, I am very excited to be a part of this, Acadiana, because of the fact that this will be my first little part in actually participating in seeing a children's author get their work out there. My heart's desire now has come from bugging you for a whole year or two to do this. I'm excited to have my copy, and I have another copy for the kids that carry it around the house. But I'm excited to announce, because of you and seeing and having the joy of being a little part of you seeing this product come to fruition, I have now come into contact with a school teacher and her class who've been writing their little class books once a year. This is her third year. And I invited her to let me be part of publishing it and filming it. And guess what's so unique about it is that it's a book written by children, illustrated by children, coordinated together by a school teacher out of Washington, Louisiana, who I will have on the show later, which I don't want to stick that out there now. But I want to tell you, because of seeing the excitement and feeling a part of your project, that's what gave me and birthed the idea. Children illustrating, children being a part, they each get given a page. And the teacher puts the story together. They each illustrate a page. And so each page is by a different child. So I look forward to doing that. So as far as me, I can't draw either, but I sure have some great ideas. And I want to thank you for letting me be a part of your project, which the main reason for having Dana in here today is because what better time of the season? We're approaching Christmas in a few days. He has been to several book signings that has really been very successful. He's been received very well. And I think that this is just the beginning, what they call a Kickstarter to something big and better. And I keep calling it, like your other friend that's part of your marketing team, I keep calling it the I Wish series. Is there going to be I Wish series?
Yes.
More books to come?
Yes, this is just one. And actually, this is the first book I've published. It's not the first book I've written.
Right.
So I want to make sure that that's clear. It's just, for whatever reason, this one stuck, and it came at the right time. And we had an opportunity to plan for it, all year long, and to get it and promote it, and just to see what kind of reception. The biggest thing is not just getting people to like and buy my product, but also to encourage youngsters to read and write. And so I'm excited about the idea of getting more people involved in our community to read and write more, and to let them know that they have the ability to create. Because remember, I was a youngster once, and I needed some encouragement, and I needed a place to go to put that out. And there wasn't the Writers Guild of Acadiana then, and there wasn't any venues that I knew of. But since I've been promoting this book, I've run into so many people that have shared their excitement and their creativity and their talents, and they said, I want to do this. And I said, well, you can do this. I said, that's where I've gotten my encouragement was more in high school, though, when I was writing poetry from an English teacher. And I remember her saying wow, what a wonderful job, and I did really well on it, and I felt good about myself, and I said, maybe this is a talent that I have. Of course, I sat on it for years as far as that goes, but I as far as the publishing, actually doing it and putting it in a format where we can all read, but I continued to write through those years, and that's helped me to be successful at what we're talking about this afternoon here. So
Okay, Dana, so since you brought it up, are you telling me that you have other materials that have or have not been published?
I have other materials that have not been published, but that are,
Yet.
not yet, yes. But I have things that I'm getting ready to put out, and yes, we hope to release the next book in the I Wish series in the spring of 2017. So I'm really excited about that. Of course, we have a little work to do. We have to get through the holiday season. We have to get through all this stuff and all the things all the wonderful things we celebrate with family and friends at this time of year. But we also there's also been some work being done to make sure that the latest in 2017, this spring, my next book should be released.
Well, I won't say it on television, I promise, but man, I just heard about the possible topic that you might do for your second release, and I'm telling you, it is going to be so worth the wait.
Well,
I don't know if you want to bring the idea up or not, but it's got me. I'm going to have to buy the book to find out what it's about. Well,
as a social worker by trade, Sudi, that's what I've done for several years, and that's where I felt my calling to work with children. I felt that it's a good opportunity to have fun topics, and also with a theme that's more significant for kids in the connection with their father in the I Wish Daddy Was Santa Claus. But I also want to deal with other more difficult topics in the upcoming books, topics such as you hear often in the school setting as bullying.
Yes.
But oftentimes we also, you don't hear so much of, but that goes on, the grief and loss issues, separation issues, different things that kids have to endure that I think would be important for them to read and to even at a young level to kind of validate and their thoughts and their thinking and their struggles as they move forward in life through the various bumps and bruises and challenges we have in life, so to speak.
So you were inspired to write books for children because you deal with children and some of the issues that they would only share with you perhaps and nobody else outside of their home. So therefore you really seem to have a great message in this book, but on the serious topics, see, as you're talking, I can relate to what if those books had been around when I was growing up, and there are issues of abuse that children can't tell just anybody, so most of the time we tell our counselors, okay, and you become our friend, and we can tell you anything, and therefore we trust you, and that word trust is big. I think it's awesome, some of the topics I understand that you may be writing on, and so this is a fun topic, it's a happy topic, it's great, but then when you're going to hit on those serious issues, that's going to really help other people, perhaps even hand the book over to a child that may be going through whatever, because I'm sure your books have a positive message in the future.
Yes, yes, they do. They talk about the challenges that they have, and you obviously you always want to validate and meet a child where they are, but you also want to take them through the process of letting them know that they're not alone, and to help them to reach a point of healing, to reach a point of being okay and knowing that they're not the only ones that feel a certain way, whether it's the loss of a loved one, whether it's the loss due to death, whether it's the loss due to separation or divorce, whether it's the loss due to a family member who has to work overseas for multiple months, if not years, like with the military members and their families, had to endure quite often in these last, say, 15, 16 years of our country's history, So we, those types of things, to know that they're not alone and that things will be okay, and for us to look forward to when we will reunite with our loved ones, either here or like I like to say, in heaven.
Okay, there's something that I'm going to bring up from a personal concern. And there's so many blended families. There's so many grandparents raising their grandchildren. There's so many single mothers, single fathers. You know, that kind of thing and those kind of books would really benefit these people in these areas. Or perhaps, like in my case, I have two gorgeous great-grandchildren. They are mixed. My granddaughter's white, the father is black. And they asked the question, why, Mama, are you so white? And I said, well, we just all look different, but we're still the same inside. And so I thought, Dana, write a book. A little great-grandbaby came up to me and asked me the other day, Mama, are you going to write a book for me? And I had no idea what she was talking about. But at that time, Dana, I'm telling you, in case I didn't tell you, that she was carrying your book around, and she was pretending that the book was about her. And then her mother, my granddaughter, pulled out a book that I had created for her when she was younger with her name in it. So that's why she was wondering, when are you going to write a book for me? But I had no idea of all of that. So when I heard about the different topics that you were going to be covering, I was really excited. So I look forward to getting a copy of every one of those books. But Katiana, if you would like to know where he's going to be, book events, signing, his webpage is also supposed to be up there, which would be danajudis.com. So Dana, let's talk about some of those book signings. You just recently was where? This past weekend, I believe.
We did a book signing. I did a book signing actually at Barnes & Noble in Lafayette, and overwhelming. It was just incredible, the response, the reception that this book has garnered and been given. So we're very excited about that. And
what about the children? Didn't you say you kind of shared some information? Encourage them in some way?
Actually, I'd like to think that I encouraged the children, but actually the children that came and gathered around Barnes & Noble this past Sunday, they actually encouraged me and talked to me about the books that they wanted to write, and they wanted to even give me some suggestions on what the next topic should be.
Really?
Yeah, so actually one little girl had came up to me and said, I got a perfect title for your next book. And I said, well, what is that? And she says, I wish Mommy was Mrs. Claus.
Ah, perfect.
And I
perfect.
said, you know what? That'd be a great book that you could write, because hasn't been written yet. So, it certainly can be yours. So I was just excited and encouraged to see all these kids tell me about their desire to write and their desire to publish a book such as this.
Well, Dana, you know what? As you were sharing a little bit earlier, my heart's desire and my main project really is getting as much and as many children as I can and learn what they're doing and feature them. There's a show I do called Katiana's Kids Got Talent, but it covers authors, musicians, just any talent, any child, school age. Okay, and so what I'd love to do would be even have a television show that would let children come in here and authors could talk to the upcoming author that the child wants to be. Would that be something you might be interested in?
I'd love to. I'd love to.
I'm thinking about that building in New Iberia.
Any work? Yeah, I guess what you're referring to is I'm originally from Iberia Parish, Lauraville, but I've been here in Lafayette for a little over 15 years, and I love all of Acadiana. My wife's originally from Ville Platte. She's a northern Cajun, and I'm kind of a southern Cajun, being down in south in Lauraville. But we embrace all those communities and all the parishes that we've had the opportunity to work at and reach. But yeah, I would love that. And I want to just, if I could
let's talk about it.
I'd like to piggyback on what you said earlier about as I pick up my book here, about mixed families, blended families. I know that and you know this, but Acadiana, maybe not everybody knows this, but I have a 15-year-old stepson and an 11-year-old stepdaughter, and I have a soon-to-be 3-year-old baby girl, and of course, we also just found out that we have an early Christmas gift that's coming, and it's we'll have an addition to the family August 2017. So we have
Merry
another baby.
Christmas
So
to you.
Merry Christmas to us. So I understand the complexities of blended families and that type of thing, and the difficulties. So I know that firsthand, but also know the blessing of having that and the opportunities. But speaking of that, that's why on the back cover of this book we have a truck, and on the personalized license plate it says Popeye. Okay. Well, my stepchildren had obviously, if you have a stepchildren, they have two sets of grandparents, and then they actually get another, which is my parents, and so they had two Pops on each side already, and so my dad was also called Pops. And they were like, man, there's just so many Pops, I don't know what to say. So his name was Irving Judice. Okay. And so we said with the I, let's call him Popeye, so that they can differentiate between him and their other grandparents. So that's how we got, so that's how we kind of have a little dedication to my father on the back right here, Popeye. But yes, in blended families, we also have that. Mixed families. Right. We also have that in my family too, and race is an important issue in our country, and it's something that's discussed all the time. And as long as I can remember, race was something that we talked about in school, and I guess I can allude to the fact that the next book will have something to do with racial diversity.
That would be wonderful. I think that would bless everybody. And my director's trying to tell me how much time we have, but I really can't see you, sir. So we now have 4 minutes left into the program. Thank you very much. Isn't he awesome? Okay, listen, let's back up a little bit. I want people to know where you've been. Okay, so we went to Barnes & Noble's this past weekend, and it was successful, and you were blessed, and people blessed you. Okay, what was going on in, Grand Coteau? What was out there? What happened?
They had Grand Noel, and I think it's been going on for quite a number of years, where they could take pictures of Santa Claus, and it's like basically a big winter wonderland. They had the Grinch that stole Christmas, and like I said, they had all kind of shops open, and they had snow, and it was just an incredible scene.
A little town with a huge heart and big ideas.
What a beautiful town. You're absolutely right. And so we were out there promoting the book and promoting the Christmas season, and it went really well out there as well. And so that's another venue that I was able to be a part of, be blessed as a part to be able to take part in. So it's really been good.
Okay, and as we are kind of getting near the end of the show, listen, it's not easy being an author. Just because you write a book doesn't mean it's going to sell by itself. There's a whole lot of different areas of what you have to learn, and as we learn, then we know better for the next book, and things get easier. And I know that as an author, we have to choose the right avenues to go down to be safe, that we're going to not be taken advantage of. And there's a lot of events that as an author, if you're one listening or you're one watching, that you really need to go to different events. That's how you get yourself out there. Just walk up to the place, be bold, and check with wherever you want to put your books, because you know what? Those books will not jump off the shelves or even get on the shelves unless you, the author, takes time to go out and promote your book. Now, I will be having a second show coming up, and that is going to be talking about how to encourage people to network their own products and give some testimonies of different people and different methods that they use. So I want to remind Katie Ann that's watching right now that this is Dana Judice. He's a children's author. This is his first release of I Wish Daddy Was Santa Claus. There's more books to come on serious topics, and he will be keeping us updated on your website, right?
That's right. And I would be remiss if I didn't say also that you can find this book not only on my website, which is www.danajudice.com, but you also can find it in Barnes & Noble and Books Along the Tesh. We had an event out there, a Christmas event that went really well. My home parish, Iberia, I was very excited about that, but they have signed copies on their shelves, and So we've had we also had an event in St. Martinville, a Takapaw Day, which we're promoting the book and a lot of the culture that we have here in Acadiana, the rich culture we have. So it was really exciting.
Do you have anything booked like this coming up? Where are you going to be? Have you got anything right now? Or are you waiting to book your 2017?
I'm waiting for we're not taking a break. We're continuing to work. I don't have any particular main event coming up now, but I do have a Christmas. I'm going to be part of a Christmas YouTube video that's going to be coming out with a very significant, a very prominent member of Acadiana. So
Awesome.
I'll just leave it to that.
Well, I'm going to be looking forward to that, and those rolling credits are going to be coming up real soon. So I think we pretty well covered everything. I know I'm excited to be a part of this. I thank you very much for coming on the show today. I know that people will want to know more about you, and they can check out www.danajudys.com, and be sure to check out his I Wish Daddy Was Santa Claus. You have to read the story to know what I'm talking about and what we're not saying. It is an awesome little book, and your little children will love it. I love it, and I'm 67 years old. I keep reading it over and over. And I want you to know that now we're on a new station, Channel 15, at 9 p.m. every Monday night. So as I share this on Facebook, of course, you who are watching it on TV know what channel you're on. But if you are interested in coming on this show, please shoot me an email at praisemusicproduction@cox.net. I'd be glad to see what you have to say. Thank you, Dana, for coming in today.
Thank you for having me, Sudi.
I've had fun. Now, wasn't that bad, was it?
That was great.
Awesome.
That was fun.
It's always good.